Hey, sorry it's taken me a little while to get this. I kind of wanted to have it done by yesterday, but you know, lockdown. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a few cards out for just general energies to see what's going on first before we get into the question parts of the reading. So let's have a little look what's going on for you. Okay. So first out, you've got Five Pentacles in reverse. So I feel that's quite a nice card. I know it can seem a little bit basically right. So all three of your first cards out are reversed, but I'm just going to get some clarifiers on them, so don't panic. With the Five of Pentacles being reversed, I feel like you're coming into a strong place of really trying to understand how you can grow things, how you can improve situations. Because in the upright of this, it's very much a case of, you know, this person's like been trying to grow something, it hasn't quite come up. So I feel there's definitely a moment where in your sort of conscious mind where you're focused on growing and working out what it is you need to do for the best. Which I know you've obviously sort of said that, so these cards are just kind of clarifying what's going on. You've then got the Five of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like with that combination, it's a case of trying not to get involved in anything that's bickering. Because the Five of Wands to me is, you know, it is quite a conflict card. It's, you know, there's a lot of burning going on. There's a lot of crossed wires, miscommunications. Hang on, let me just turn that down a little bit. And with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like it's a point of you not, you know, you don't feel there's any new opportunity. There's nothing new to really work on at this time. Okay, and then so you got the Six of Cups over the Five of Pentacles. So I feel like you're definitely focused on maintaining relationships, because that, you know, it's a case of two people being from different worlds, still wanting to be around each other in a nice way, even though, you know, it's like, you know, you can't quite be together. You know, there's definitely boundaries going on there, because it's, you know, it's a case of one being of the water, one being of the land. And then with regards to the Five of Wands, so where there's a resistance to trying to get into conflict, a resistance to trying, I think it's because you've got that with the Knight of Wands in reverse as well. So it's mostly because, you know, if you get drawn into conflict, it's a stormy path. It's not going to go too, not just not going to go too well, but I feel like it's a case of not, you know, you could ride into it. You could easily get involved in drama, in bickering, but actually, what's the advantage? Because you're almost better off waiting for things to come through. And where you feel you've got with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So as I was saying about not having anything new to work on and not really getting any new opportunities, you've also got the Six of Wands. So it is a victorious card, but it's not. It's a victory through suffering. So it's not, you know, because in the forward view of that, it's a case of coming in victorious, unscathed. But that side, it's like, you know, people around you are, you know, you've been through the wars. You will go through the wars to get to this victory. It will be tough on you. It will be tough on other people. However, you've got 2 5s, you've got 2 6s, so there's definitely some progress coming up, which is good. And yeah, Six of Wands, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, Five Pentacles, Six of Cups, which is good. It's, you know, it's a transition from seeing things not necessarily materialistically, but more practically, and you know, learning to kind of follow your heart and follow your emotions. Yeah, and then the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So I think at the moment, everything you're trying to do is good. It's in the best interest of other people, and you know, that's echoed here by the fact you've got this, you know, this person sat in the background, so he's doing all the hard work, but this is who he's doing it for. You know, and I think it's important to remember why you start doing things, why you get into situations, why you, you know, it's easy to lose sight of the goal with anything, with, you know, with exercise routines, with job hunts, you know, it could be anything. But obviously at the moment we're looking at love situations. Okay, so let's have a look at what your spirit guides want you to know. I'm going to stick with this one. because yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard, particularly. I don't know if you're in lockdown as well, but I think with everything that's going on in this pandemic, I feel like a lot of people are becoming quite disconnected. Because I've had this similar sort of questions from a few people, where they're just not feeling intuitive, they're not trusting themselves. So let's have a look at what your spirit guides want you to know. Okay, so in the middle you've got the Hanged Man. And that Hanged Man view is very much about being aware of who's keeping you dangling, who is not offering you an option to progress. Because I always think with the Hanged Man, I feel like the Hanged Man is quite a calm card. Like he's chilled. He's just he is stuck, but he's there and he knows what's going on. But this side, it's more about seeing who's done it to you, who's kind of put you into that mindset of being trapped, and it's a case of being torn between two people. And on the one hand, you've got 10 of Wands there, so there's kind of completed cycle being there is a heavily burdened thing, but there's also someone coming in to offer you help. So where you feel trapped, emotionally, mentally, it could be that you've got you can't, because the Eight of Swords is quite often like a not a resistance to seeing things, but it's a case of not being able to see the way out, like not being able to see the wood for the trees. You kind of, which is a phrase I didn't understand for years, but when you're in a wood, you can't see any wood lying down on the ground because you're so busy looking at trees, but actually the trees that you can see are all wood. So what you're seeing is options are everywhere, but there is someone coming in to help you out with something, to offer you a way out, or offering to help you find the way out, because like you see, she's got the sword is in her back. If she wriggled around a bit, she'd get out of that. Anything else from spirit guides, please? Yeah, okay, so you might have a tough decision to make. Because that, the Ace of Wands, so where you had the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, you have the Knight of Wands with the Storm view, you've got the Ace of Wands now. I think you're going to have some hard communication. But I think once, because actually, it's just talked to me, that lightning is in the back there is striking a tree, which is amazing, because in this deck, if I can find it, the tower is the same image, where it's a case of letting things go, and with the lightning hitting the tree, it's that thing of going, the tree's done a really good job of growing, but sometimes the direction it's grown is not in its own best interest, so the lightning will come along and will take it away and take away the top half of the tree. It won't get the roots necessarily, so it'll still be able to regrow. Sorry, I just want to find this card, hang on. So that is really similar imagery across those two. Not that came out, but I just wanted to kind of use that as an example. So I think they're trying to let you know that if you've got stormy communication coming in, troubled communication, it's, yes, you can put up a fight, but ultimately you kind of need to. There are things that you will definitely need to let go. See if we can get any more on what you need to let go. What is it you need to let go? Let go of. Okay, so you've got 4 cards out. So things that you could possibly need to let go of. So you've got the King of Pentacles in reverse, the Empress in reverse, 7 of Swords, and the Justice. So this King of Pentacles, and as I'm not sure if your rainbow is an earth sign. We'll come to that in a minute. But I think with that, it's a case of, you need to let go of trying to maintain this balance. So, for example, the Empress in the upright for me is all about harvesting. It's about reaping what you sow. It's about kind of collection, mothering, being able to offer something, being able to offer advice. And the King of Pentacles is really stable. He's very abundant, like he's got everything going on. That isn't happening for you right now, and I think maybe if you're trying to maintain that, could be with Miss Rainbow, that you're trying to maintain that mode of still being able to be there for each other, still being able to help each other out and look after each other, and unfortunately I feel like that probably is something that may need to go. With the 7 of Swords and the Justice, they're like exact opposite cards. Like the Seven of Swords to me is, you know, it is in this deck particularly, it is a really sneaky card. It's, you know, doing things underhandedly, being shady, and the Justice is the exact opposite. You know, it's balancing things out. It's working out what the right thing is to do. So I think, I don't know if you've been, trying to fight for the right thing to do, to keep balance. And you know what, I'm not saying, you know, I don't feel like you've been underhand in your handling of the behaviour of the situation, but I think it's almost a case of trying to people please, of trying to keep everyone balanced, trying to keep everyone on track, trying to keep everyone happy. And ultimately, when you know, if you try to please too many people, you end up making yourself unhappy, and it's a very easy cycle to get into, to stay in. Okay, let's have a look at messages from Miss Evergreen. Let's go on this one. Also, I love that they've got code names. I feel like I'm in Cluedo, which is awesome. I used to love that game and the film. Okay, what are the messages from Miss Evergreen, please? Okay, so you've got the High Priestess, Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Strength in reverse. Let's go back to these. So the High Priestess for me is a case of trying to stay intuitive, and this, you know, these are messages from her. So I feel like it's almost like she's asking you to trust your gut. You know, if you feel things are good, then keep going with it. You know, it's about sort of taking the veil off the illusions, trying not to, you know. And I know if you say because you said you're struggling to, well, not struggling to cope, that's maybe a bit harsh, but you're finding blocks towards your spirit guides. You know, I feel like she wants you to get back to your intuition and to try and learn to follow your heart, because so in this image, she's got the book just over her heart, so she's like this, you know, trying to kind of focus on things. But then you've got the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Strength in reverse. So I feel like you're pulling back a bit, or I think she feels that you're pulling back. You know, because the Knight of Wands in the upright is quite a confident card. The Strength is, you know, is all confident, but with the reversals, I feel like her message to you is that you know, the sooner you get back connecting with yourself, with your heart. Yeah, because she can't do anything about it. She got the Knight of Swords in reverse over the top there. So I think she knows that this is something that you need to do. How can you reconnect with your intuition best? What can you do to improve your connection to your intuition? Okay, so the main thing for me here is that you need to find balance within yourself. You've got the Ten of Wands there as well, so there's definitely some cycles that you need to close off. There's some burdens that you need to accept and kind of, because I think it's easy to find the burdens, and you know, like when you're stacking things like this, like you see how he's got them all bundled up. That doesn't, you know, you don't just grab them all together. Like you stack one on top of the other, you kind of build it. So I feel like it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a methodical process to finding your balance. There's also that crown I've just noticed in the back as well, in the back there. So once you find that balance, you know, it's going to get you back to your sort of like kingly queenly state where you feel at the top of things. The other ones is the things that are hindering you, I think, from reconnecting with your intuition, is you've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse and also the Six of Swords in reverse. So it's kind of like it's not wanting to accept help from others, or not being able to accept help. from others, not necessarily resisting, not wanting to, but not being able to, finding it difficult to. And the reason I say that is because the Six of Swords to me, in the upright is all about kind of getting back on track, getting through the stormy seas, getting back onto safe waters. So it's not, there's still a delay on that for me. And that delay of being able to get through it is what's hindering you from being able to work with others to get your intuition back on track. But I think that's going to be the best thing for you. I think sometimes maybe you need to take a day out, from whatever you're doing. I know it's tricky, particularly if you're in lockdown as well. But I think, like today, I've just said to my, because I've got my mum with me at the moment. I was like, I just need to spend the day in my room today. Just going to chill out in here, put some music on, not that I'm de-stressed particularly, but just, take a bit of me day, have some quiet time, and then in the evening I'll be ready to, cohabit. Okay, let's see what you can do to deal with Miss Rainbow. How best to progress with Miss Rainbow. So how can you best progress with Miss Rainbow? So you've got the Empress first and foremost. So I feel that you still have the ability to nurture each other. But then with the Ten of Wands there as well, it's a case of, you can still do this, but actually I think you've kind of come as far as you're going to go with each other. Yeah, because you've got another few cards out. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So there's definitely, I feel like it's very comfortable to do it, because you've got the Four of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse. So the Eight of Cups is very much the walking away from things that are not good for you anymore, things that are, not perfect. I don't feel like you necessarily want to move away. I don't feel like you want to take the break. I feel like you're still quite invested, and it's because it's comfortable, because you've got that Eight of Swords in reverse as well. So I think it's very comfortable to stay where you are, to stay in the situation, to keep going. Maybe it's a case of maybe you're going round and round in circles, going up and down, and and trying to mother each other and trying to be there for each other and reconnect and reharvest. But actually, the message is for me that everything that you've got, everything you've offered each other is what you've got. Like you've done it. You know what you can offer each other, and it's not a bad thing. And once you get to that point where things are tied up nicely, things are neatly finished off, then you'll be able to reconnect from a place of warmth. However, there's a few more cards jumped out. Just going to turn over. So I think you've got to say, right, going left to right, so you've got the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands there. So I think the advice is that you need to pick up the pace a little bit in making the decisions, because the Two of Pentacles to me in this deck is very it's keeping everything up in the air. It's kind of like, when you see people like spinning plates and juggling, and that's there's no natural rhythm to it. Keeping stuff up in the air isn't a natural thing to do. It kind of, you need to keep going with it, and you need to keep moving. However, on the other side, you've got the Justice in reverse, which came up before in the upright. Is it upright? Reverse. I'd have to go back. But where I was saying, you were fighting to do the right thing by everybody. Sometimes you need to let go. You've also got the Devil in reverse there as well. So I think. Again, I think it becomes very comfortable and complacent, because that Five of Pentacles in reverse, which funnily enough is what we started with in the reverse. Obviously it's different decks, it's different kind of imagery, different mentality, but that for me is, in the upright, it's a case of like being stuck and left out in the cold. So I think it's very easy for you to continue how you are with Miss Rainbow. And it's not really, it's not necessarily doing the right thing. It's not balancing you out. It's not I don't feel like it's offering you enough at the moment, other than like complacency and comfort, and it's, you know, it's very simple to stay in the mode that you're in, you know, because change is hard, and it is tricky when, you know, when you've got emotional attachments and you've got history with people. It's hard to kind of, you know, cut people off, but sometimes it you know, if you want to progress with this evergreen, the advice might be to kind of cut things a little bit. I'm just going to grab a couple of animal cards to finish off, just see what the advice is. Okay, what's the overall advice, please? Okay, so first one out, you got the rabbit, which is recognise your significance. So I feel like that is definitely about the llama. Set clear boundaries and enforce them. So I think that for me means far more than the rabbit. I think the rabbit, recognising your significance, is more about finding your place and remembering that the decisions you take either way will have impacts on other people, on what else is going on around you. But I think with this llama, for me, is far more important, because I think particularly with Miss Rainbow, I think if you set the boundaries, I think everyone knows where they stand, and people, you know, you can process, and your friendship, you know, your relationship can be a lot more complete and a lot freer, because you know how far you can go, you know what is expected of each other, you know what you can offer each other. And I think it might, maybe at a time with them to have that conversation and just set the boundaries. You know, recognise your significance, recognise that, you know, you are important in the situation, and you don't need to necessarily just keep other people happy. You can, you know, part of keeping yourself happy keeps others happy, you know. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for entering the competition, and congratulations on winning, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.